Hello everyone and welcome back to the Crew 2 in part 75. Here we go folks, let's begin and start out on race number 1 of 8 of the USB Tour Cities is about to go to the Big Apple of New York City. This will have to go down for having some 2 events in one location of the Papillon will be featured to have some one good interesting to be warm up to be on the standard version and endurance. For the standard version of the USB Tour Cities at New York City, we'll have to go down by 3 laps by default, and also for the endurance for only a different challenges that we have to go proving up, test the skills, and race around on corners in the urban cities with using touring cars by having 2 types of events whenever we have to go by qualifying warm-up and do the most important thing ever yet to have this part of the challenge. We'll have to go proving up and become like an urban street race professional motorsport driver. So let's get it on, and I'll have my Aston Martin Vulcan with a UTRS InsProtect livery will be set and go by participation. This is going to be so very amazing, viewers. This is going to be quite giving a 100%, yes sirree, and good to go. Now let's go for the loading on the cutscene, and this is going to be a lot of good practice out there after spending time on the Live Summit event. So let's get the show on the road, you guys. Starting grid and start the countdown in about 3, 2, 1, and go.
Welcome to Lower Manhattan, folks. The beating heart of the most recognizable city on Earth. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. This area is usually jam-packed with traffic and pedestrians, but today, the streets are clear for an all-out speed contest past one of the most vertical cities in the world. Hope you're ready, because it's race time!
Up I go and take the lead. Now this is the perfect street race like ever before to have some barriers for every touring cars. So better make sure that you had to take every corners that you have learned so far ever since from a few years since the USB Tour Cities update just came out. Just doing a lot of excitement, motorsport racing, and give a lot of spectators around in the most famous iconic cities in America. The simple choice is, it's all about test your skills and find a good line whenever it takes to go by achieve by dominance, and will succeed it as well. So the first lap is about to get closer near at the end, have the last 2 turns, make that apex check to go on the checkpoint, and go full straight. Alright, first lap down, moving on in lap 2.
Drivers should be getting a nice view of the Williamsburg Bridge in the distance, crossing from the Lower East Side over into Brooklyn. It was once the longest suspension bridge in the world. Not anymore, but still an important thoroughfare.
Alright. Still in the lead, and few other opponents are about to catch up onto my current position. Every kinds of racing spec version is now currently to be welcome at any time, just like the Corvette CAR, Nissan GT-R GT3 2018, and other kinds of racing spec version is now being multi-class and go for the GT competition. Where after all, touring car for all race cars is now being well set up and go for having an urban racing to go like no other, just like playing on Grid 2019 and Grid Legends. So update on the gap by 0.7 seconds. Gonna have to step it up and go using a little bit nitro. Almost there at the end of lap number 2. Going up by 1 second. And final lap, progression on 69%. So that's the first turn. Coming down to have turn 2 on the elevation in the streets. Quick tight chicane to go on turn 3 and 4 and make a good steep position on turn number 5. Straightaway up ahead as we're about to go right in on turn number 6. Solid fine work, and update on a gap by 16 seconds is now adding up by 1 second to go. But the Desmo will keep a monitor of surveillance during the USST cities. Now coming into Times Square.
The giant billboards coming up as Times Square. I've been here myself for multiple New Year's Eve celebrations, and there is truly nowhere else like it.
1.8 seconds. Got to keep trying and number the turns and corners by the left and right. Almost there. Make that final checkpoint to go to the finish line. And there you go.
What an amazing start to the U.S. Speed Tour, huh? Incredible racing today. And hang around, because there's a whole lot more of it still to come.
Alright, first place and received by 49,837 bucks. Good job, and consider this as a standard type of the event for the USST cities at New York City. Consider this as an interview that you already just took it by having one event.
Maybe you did, thanks to adding gimmicks and boats and God knows what else, because you couldn't beat me straight up on my own turf. You should be very proud of yourself. I'll see you on the track. And I'll beat you so badly they'll start calling you the reason last place was invented. It's my championship you're sitting on, and I'll be back for it.
Okay, Clarence. I'll be looking forward to it, and I'll have to be proven to become as a professional racing champ. Well, good thing I just have a red notification tip from Clarence after I just beat him on the last video and beat the Duke. But still to come, and I always have a lot of available race participation, just have to go anywhere, anytime, any place, and any racetrack to have a proud representation on racing motorsport. So just have to go back onto the same Pavilion location. Good thing one standard USST event is checked and done, but it's about to go by endurance on race number 2 as the second part conclusion. Just have to go on details, and very good to be checked and acquire on normal difficulty. So here comes the real challenge, viewers. Endurance on New York City is about to be set and go for having a tough concentration to go racing on competitive. Just have to drive anywhere before the loading will be started by respawn. So the same as ever, just like the standard and endurance, we'll have to go by different sectors to go around by each part of the track. But yes sirree, it's about to go for having endurance with a change of weather forecast. Now it's on the rain, and this will have to be ready to go.
Welcome to Lower Manhattan, folks. The beating heart of the most recognizable city on Earth. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. This area is usually jam-packed with traffic and pedestrians, but today, the streets are clear for an all-out speed contest past one of the most vertical cities in the world. Hope you're ready, because it's race time!
Alright, same as ever, and just have to start out by counting out the numbers when you're on the endurance event session of the USST cities. For instance, by cruising around and race where the main focus to get up onto the finish line is now being featured to have 7 laps, and the number of progression is about to be set differently. So keep a good eye on the progress whenever you're going to have to be race on different corners to find a good line and use any kinds of touring car any way we can. But first place is the best queue, and amp up with a short amount of nitro to go kick it up into the high gear. 1.1 seconds behind the gap from 7 racers. Got to keep going and have the progression to go by slow and patient. So 11% progression is now being cleared from the first lap. Here comes lap number 2. Alright, 1.6 seconds update, and the rain still coming on. I've been waiting for this all day and well prepared for this current update, along with the post one is now adding up with some extra features. Steady by the go and go by progression in about 16%. Tap up the nitro to go a little bit boost. Now gonna have to keep up the going route and heading back to Times Square. Well, I can't say it's very more excellent and do the endurance just like hypercar events, but very good for touring car and it's all about motorsports of racing to have a good feature to be adding up on the track course is going to be needed a pit. Well, if anything else can go, it's all about keep a good time and focus for the number of laps. So here comes lap number 2 clear. Proceed on lap number 3.
Drivers should be getting a nice view of the Williamsburg Bridge in the distance, crossing from the Lower East Side over into Brooklyn. It was once the longest suspension bridge in the world. Not anymore, but still an important thoroughfare.
Alright, now let's see, the GPS is now being expanded around on New York. Other racers are still trying to catch up to me from the last race. The real challenge starts right here, right now, and go full endurance. Gap distance is now being seen and updated by 3.4 seconds. Still good, and the Aston Martin Vulcan Team UDRS Inspirtech is currently well to do some main progress and amp up the handling, speed, and performance. Now take that checkpoint cleared onto the next turn. Total time is 3 minutes, 32 seconds in progress. .6 seconds, finishing up on lap number 3. Here comes the 4th lap, viewers. Gotta have to step it up and go braking on turn 1 and step it down towards turn number 2. Brilliant, well, and absolutely to see how the USST is going on and very yet to be popular. I should rather have to do this a long time ago, 5 months ago, since I've just been focusing on Live Summit event to do some vanity, getting some cars and more Summit rewards. But good thing, Made by Mad Volume 2 was very enjoyable, and Volume 2 of Mad is considered to become as the final content update.
You'll recognize the giant billboards coming up as Times Square. I've been here myself for multiple New Year's Eve celebrations, and there is truly nowhere else like it.
Okay, good. Regain control and stay on the line. So it's about to get closer towards the end of 4 minutes. 4th lap now entered, lap number 5. Progression is now climbing up on 45%. Just have to keep racing well and stay clean around on the urban track. Okay, gonna have to go across through onto the short bus stop chicane. Second place driver is still trying to catch up to me. Alright, that's 2.8 seconds update. Now gonna have to go on to the short straightaway as the next turn back on the right. Halfway there, viewers, progression and climbing up on 51%. This will have to take some time and be patient about it. 7 laps on New York City by endurance, 3 laps by the original on standard. So whenever you like to choose, any touring car will be selected to take part of the USST cities on New York City along with Las Vegas is now being adding up on race number 2. But also for every week is now adding up to have some few other locations that just already been recognized so far out there to have some 3 races to be adding up by recent along with Seattle, and just have to go all the way to the final race in number 8 at Chicago. The Vulcan is now actually trying to keep up the good defense as the second place driver is going on the offense.
Those flags there, of course, mark the United Nations building. 193 countries and counting, all based right here in NYC.
Alright, now this is going to be a good, interesting dialogue for the USST organizer to talk about some famous iconic location around on the cities. Very good. And I just really have to keep enjoying for having a sightseeing racing and focus on the win. Got to take the left turn and go on the final turn on the right. So the 6th lap is now being cleared, so I wonder what happens if it's going to be the final lap in number 7. But progression is still yet continuing around by 68%.
We get a glimpse of the Empire State Building up ahead, and the Flatiron Building on the right.
Alright, looks like the right corner turn is where you can see the Empire State Building. Okay, take that next turn on the right. 8 minutes have passed since the start of the endurance race. Keep going and keep it up. Take another round on Times Square. Alright, very good. Now, it's gonna have to take a good patient time without using nitro for the segment, as I just keep using it for less as the start of the race. But other opponents might be doing some possibility to go boost up with using nitro to catch up onto my current position. So here it is, you guys. This will be doing the right guess is the final lap. Now, gonna have to go right in and take home to the podium towards the finish line. Okay, it's only down to 2.4 seconds. This is going to be so fun and very enjoyable for this race and go for the challenge of motorsport competition in the Big Apple. Checkpoint clear, check. Now make that good push to be slided around onto the right and the left of Times Square. But maybe unless, this could be a real test if I had to go by 8 laps. Nope, not gonna go the wrong way. I'm just have to go to the right way. Now here we go, folks. This is gonna be the real final lap. This race can actually have to take 8 laps around on New York City whenever you're gonna have to push it to the limit and stay focused whenever you're gonna have to climb up onto first place. Every driver and every competition is all about having a test of skills and go for the battle of first place during the USST challenge to go by 8 races around on 8 major cities across in America. But keep a good eye on the progression. So I'm at 94% and get closer to have a halfway part onto the length of the track. Now swooping in onto Times Square.
They'll be turning onto Columbus Circle just up ahead. Not only one of New York's most famous landmarks, but a world-class destination for dining, shopping, and absorbing those Big Apple vibes.
Alright, 2 more to go. Last turn and final checkpoint arriving at the finish line.
What an amazing start to the US Speed Tour, huh? Incredible racing today. And hang around, because there's a whole lot more of it still to come.
Alright, there you go. And it's going to be almost 100,000 bucks when you're entered on Endurance Edition of the US Speed Tour Cities.
Huh?
This is amazing.
Incredible racing today. And hang around, because there's a whole lot more of it still to come.
Haha, yes, very good, and a lot of good endurance out there for only one single step of 2 races on 2 types, normal and endurance around of New York City. So this is going to be how it all comes down to have a great place to start. The track course is going to be quite very much more similar than the Gran Turismo 4 counterpart, but it turns out it's very good and have some few other straightaways and some few other corners. But after all, whenever I had to do everything skills to have some touring cars to go practice and do the endurance to have a number of laps will go around by 8. That's how USST cities are about to go test it and have a challenge to go by full endurance to have some difficulty types to go by normal and extreme by having some ace pro effort out there. On second thought, I'll have to remove the waypoint and I'll have to take a good look to zoom out and be on the location for race number 2 will be coming up in part 76. But Las Vegas is now being surprised to go labeledly to be titled as brand new. That's why I'm about to go to, and this is how we're about to be rolling in to have some 2 types of event to go by normal and endurance whenever it takes to go mass on the urban city course to be either in daytime or nighttime in the USST cities on 8 locations around in America. But very good to have some weather condition is now being featured when you're entered on endurance session is very challenging to be compared to the original. So I'll have to choose for a different touring car as I'll have to be reminder as I have to wrap this up before at the end of the video. So thank you for enjoying watching the video in the Crew 2 folks. I hope you enjoyed. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel for a like, comment, then click the bell for notification on upcoming content videos if you'd like to see. Follow me on Deepinet Art, Instagram, Twitter, GT Planet, Patreon, Discord, and more social media platforms. Plus, memberships are now open to everyone who will join to get access for a price levels a month with exclusive perks, custom emoji with my OCs, and many features to support the channel. It's the best way to help out with the super things as an extra will support and grow. I'll be see you guys next time in the Crew 2, and I look forward to see you again in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.